Hey folks, welcome back. In this video, we will be talking about Python file handling. So let's say we want to process any file or we want to write data onto the disk and then we need file handling. So let's look at the some of the use cases. So storing application logs. Let's say we have a web application and we want to store the logs to the file, and then we can use it there. And image handling to convert RGB to grayscale. So let's say we want to convert the color image to black and white image, and then we just load the image onto the memory, and then we apply some operations on it to convert that to a grayscale or a black and white image. So invoice, PDF generation. Um, let's say some user ordered some products on the e-commerce website, and then we can generate the invoice PDF for that. Um, and uploading files to cloud. Let's say we have some files on our disk, and then we want to upload these files onto the cloud like AWS or GCP or Azure, etc. So and then we can open those files and take the data onto the memory and then upload the files to the cloud. So importing and exporting data to or from the DB servers. So let's say we have a product catalog of 1000 products which are in file. Let's say it's a CSV file or XLSX file, and then we can load that file onto the memory and we process it, and then we can connect to the DB. After that, we can store all this data onto the DB. So in that case also we can use it, and we can have much more use cases for this. Python provides a built-in function open to handle the files, that is reading and writing files to the disk. So let's see the operation modes when we open the file. So these are the operations. So R for read, so we can read the when we open the file in read mode, and then we can read the contents of the file. And if we open the file on append mode, that is A, and then we can add extra data to the file. And if you have I mean, if you open the file in write mode, then we can write the new data to the file. So in that case, if the data is already exists in the file, so that will be completely overridden by the new data. And we have a X mode. So when we use that, if the file is not there, and then it will create the file. If the file is there, it will throw the error. And we have T for text, and B for binary. So let's say we want to handle binary images, and then we need to use the binary mode. So we can use the modes in multiple ways, like RW, that is read write, and RA, that is read append, and RB, that is read binary. So read binary and write binary, we use that for when we handling the binary files. So let's look at the how we can read the contents of a file. So I already have some code for this. So let me copy this code onto the playground, and let's do. Okay, let me copy this. Let's go to playground. Okay, so here we have a file, and that is open. We are opening the story.txt file, so that is already there. So here we can see that. So here we have the story, um, and we are reading that. We are opening that file in a read mode, so we can able to read the contents of it. So here we are using the read function on file to read the contents of the file. So we are reading and storing the contents onto the contents variable, and then we are printing the contents, and then we are closing the file in order to stop the memory leaks. So let's run it. Python playground. Oh, oops, we need to use file handling playground. So okay, looks like we didn't have the file, so it's saying we didn't have the file. So whenever we use the file, we need to provide a full path of the file. So let's say, let me see present working directory. So this is my current directory, so we need to use all this, and then inside that we have file handling. So let me clear this out and run it again. So now we can see that it did print the all contents of the file. So here we can clearly see that we got all the contents of the file. So let me copy some randomly and go to the file that is story.txt. So that is this one. Oh, oops, not this file. Story.txt, and let me search it. So here we can see the contents. So that's how we can read the file. So either we need to provide the full path, or we can use so currently I'm executing it from here, from this directory. So at least we need to give the additional path from this directory. So let me go here and let me remove all this that stuff, and I updated the file path. So this is the exact file path that we need to give. So let me run it again. Python file handling and playground. So now also it is working. So either we need to use the complete full path of the disk, or we can give the path that we are executing it from. So those are the two ways that we can read the file. So let's look at the additional methods. So currently we are when we use the read method, so it completely reads the file contents. So let's say we want to read the file line by line, and then we can use read line method. So so here we have the one more method, that is read lines. Read lines. So when we use the read lines, it gives us the a list data type. So and then we can use the for loop to iterate through it, and then print the content. So let's execute it again. So here we can see that we got list contents. Or let's say we want to only first line. So this works based on the new line character. Let me clear this out and run it again. So now we are printing only first line of the text file that we opened. So that's how we read the file. So here we can see that initially we are opening the file. So we are reading the contents, and then we are using it, and after that we are closing it. So once we close it, Python knows that the file is closed. So we don't it won't be using extra memory to save the contents of this file. So it will be collected by the garbage collector. So let's see how we can write the file contents to the file. So let's go to this. Let me copy this data. So just to save the time. So the syntax will be same. So here we are opening the file, and then we have the file path here. So that is hello.txt. Let me go here, and so here we have some contents. Let me remove it. Let me come back to playground. So let me open it again, hello.txt. So we didn't have any data on the file. So let's come here. So currently we are opening the file that is in write mode. So we are opening the file for writing. And then we have this text that is once upon a time there lived a Lion King. So that's the text. And we are using the write method to write the text. And after that we are closing it. So first we open the file, and then we write the text, and then we close it. So let's run it. Let me clear this out first, and then let's run it. So it did nothing. That's because we write the contents to the file. So we didn't use print statement to print anything onto the terminal. So that's why we didn't see any output. So now in order to verify that, first we need to go to the file and check the contents. So that is hello.txt. So here we can see that once upon a time there lived a Lion King. So we have that text. So that's how we write the text onto the file. So we have write we have writing methods. So we have write that we already seen. So we have write lines. Let's say when we have multiple um, number of lines we want to write onto the file. So and then we can use the write lines. So it takes the iterable. So like tuple, what we call sets, any iterable. So let's look at how it works. Let's go to playground, and let's change this to line 1. Let me copy paste this and add line 2. is awesome, and let's use write lines. Let's use list line 1 and line 2. Let's use the line 1 again. So now we are writing 3 lines to the file. So let me go to hello.txt and remove all these contents, and then let's execute the code again. Okay, yeah, that's a syntax error. We should use write lines, not write line. So let me clear this out and run it again. So now go to hello.txt. So here we can see that it did write the all the contents that we have. So but this time it didn't add any new line. That's because we didn't have any new line in our text. So here we can see that we have once upon a time they lived a king, and after that he is awesome. After that we have he is awesome, and then after that we have one more time, once upon a time there lived a king. That's because we did write that in a third line. So that's how we use the write lines to write multiple text onto the file. So let's say we have this new line character and run it. So let's go to hello.txt, and now we can see that we got a new line. So that's how we write the multiple lines or iterables onto the file. So let's look at flush. So whenever we use the flush, it just completely writes the file. So what happens, let's say when we are writing multiple, more data onto the file. So the code won't immediately write the file onto the disk. So it takes some time in some cases. But when we use the flush method, then it will dumps the file from the memory to the disk. So let's see how we can use it. So we just need to, so once we write the lines, we just need to call this file dot flush and then close it. So when we do it, it will automatically does. So let's say we didn't have this close statement, and if you want to do more operations after this, and then till this part we want to dump the data onto the disk, and then we should use flush. So when we use the file at close, when we use the close function, so that automatically flushes the contents onto the disk. So that's how we use this. Let me close this and run it. So here we can see the data. So that's how we use the flush and write lines and write. Let's look at the file attributes. So whenever we open the file, so this file in line number 1, so it comes with some attributes. So that is like file name. When we access the file name, we get this, and we when we access the mode, we get this. And so we can also see the what we call encoding. So that is UTF-8 or Latin 1, something like that. We have encoding part, so we can get all those attributes. So these are the available attributes, that is name, mode, encoding, and whether the file is closed or not, and errors, whether the file has any errors, and the new lines. So any characters while reading the file, if you have any new line characters, then it will get. So so I already have the code to use all these attributes. So let me copy this code onto the playground to save time. So yeah. So here we are printing all the available attributes of the file when we open it. So let me go here and clear this out and run it. Oh, oops, we didn't have the no such file or directory story. Yeah, we need to provide the full path, that is file handling, and let's run it. So now we have, that is file attributes, and then we have the name, that is file handling story, and then we have mode R, and the encoding part. By default the encoding part is UTF-8. We can use other encoding format as well. And when the file So we access the when whether the file is closed or not. We got a boolean value that is false, and error format that is strict, and new lines we got nothing. Yeah, that's how we access the attributes of the file. So let me go to appending to file. So till now we know how to write the file and how to read the file. So let's say we want to add extra data to the existing file. So currently in hello we have the uh, once upon a time there lived a king, something like that. So let's say let me go to here and let me update this to w, and let me update this to hello and remove all this code. Now I'm writing file.write. um, Python is awesome, and let's go to terminal and execute the file, that is file handling and playground. So now let's go to hello.txt, and we can see that we see only one line. That's because we opened it in a write format. So that's the reason we lost all the contents before what we have. So previously we had these two lines, but now we have the okay. So let me save this again and let's run it again. So let's go to hello.txt and see. So now we have only one line. So it's overriding the contents of the file. So let's say we want to add the extra content and keep the previous content, and then we should use append mode. So let me copy this code. Let's replace that in playground. So here what we are doing, so we are opening the file in a append mode, and we are writing the text to the file. So currently what we have Python is awesome, and then we are writing the this text, and then we are closing the file. So now we will be having both Python is awesome and the extra new line that whatever the line that we are using. Okay, let's run it and go to hello.txt and check the file. So now we can see that we got Python is awesome and as well as the extra text. So let's use the new line character here and run it again. Let's see. So we need to add one more line here. Let's say if we run it again, run it again, run it again. So it will keep on appending the data to the file. So it won't be overriding the existing data. So that's how we append the data to the file using append mode. So working with binary files, let's say we want to read the file contents of a binary, and then we should use read mode. Sorry, we should use binary mode, that is B. Okay, let me copy this onto playground. So here what we are doing, so here we have the logo, that is PNG format, and then we are reading that in a read binary format, and we are printing the data. So let's see. Okay, let me go to playground, and here we have the uh, logo. So we are reading this as a binary because it's an image. So let me open this, clear this out, and run it. So here we can see that we got all the binary data from the image. So that's how we read the binary files. Okay, let's look at the other file methods. That is close, we already seen. Tell. So when we use this tell method, it shows the current cursor position. So let's look at the example. And before that, let's also talk about seek. Seek sets the file cursor's current position. So let me go to playground and use hello.txt file, hello.txt, and use it in read mode, and then before this let's use file.seek 10. So currently we have 1 2 3 4 5 lines. Let me close this and open it again. So we have 5 lines in the file. So I'm just using the seek10 file.seek10 seek method, and then reading the data and then printing the data. So let's run the code. So now we can see that we got only from awesome, once upon a time, and then all this data. So what is missing is the the contents is missing that Python is. So that's because we set the cursor position at 10th place. So that's the reason we got from the 10. So let's say we have seek 20 and run the code. So we will get this data. So let's say now we can access the file dot tell. So this method returns the actual position of the cursor in a file. So let's use this print statement and print it. Oops, let's comment out the data for now. So now we can see that it is at the cursor is at 221, and if we read the data again, let's see what happens. Print file dot read. So now we are getting nothing. That's because the cursor is set at 221, and after 221 we didn't have any data to read. So that's the reason we got empty data. So now let's use seek. Let me move that from there to here, and here we already read the contents of the file, and then we are printing the current position of the cursor, and then we are setting the position of the cursor to 0. So from here we get complete contents of the file. So let me clear this out and run it. So now we can see that the current cursor position is at 221, and then we set the cursor position to 0, and then we are reading the contents again. So let's print the one more time, and before that let me add some star into 10 or something just to verify it. So now here we can see that this is the first time we read, and after that we print the content, I mean the cursor position, that is the 221, and then we set the cursor position to 0, and then we read the contents again. After that we read the contents of the file again, but we didn't get anything. That's because the cursor position is changed. It is at last place. So if we set the seek here as well, seek to 0, and then we get the data 2 times. So that's how we use the seek and tell methods. Okay, we covered close, tell, seek using with keyword. So till now what we did, let me go close on this. So till now what we did, so we opened the file, and then we read the contents, and we close the file. That's because in order to avoid the memory leaks in the system. So we have a shortcut method for this, so we don't need to close the file after opening, so it will automatically close the file. So that is with keyword. We can use that with keyword. So let me copy these contents to playground. Oops, let me clean this up. Okay, so here we use the with statement, and then we are opening the file, and we have one more keyword as, and then this is the variable name. So we can have file1 or file2, something like that. And we after that we can use the all methods that we discussed so far on the file object, and then we are printing the content, and and we are not closing it. So though we didn't close, it automatically closes. So let's run it. So now we can see the all the data. So this is the shortcut for opening the file and automatically closing it. So in most of the cases we should use this with statement keyword. So that's how we use the with keyword, and let's come to the questions. So here we have the read the sample products.txt, sorry, sample products CSV file and print all the product names. So let me close this hello.txt and story.txt. Let's open sample products. So this is the CSV file that we have. So here we have all total of 25 products, and the last column, that is D, is product name. So when we talk about CSV, so all these values, that is 44 variable and woo v-neck tree and v-neck t-shirt, all these are separated by a comma. So let's go to playground and open this file, that is sample underscore products.csv, and we are reading that file as file. We should use a proper names when we code it. So now we have the, let's change this to data, and let's print the data. So now we can see that we have this data like this, right? So now what we need to do, we need to split these lines, right? So we need to split these lines and we need to get the last item of it, because this is the name. So let's do that. Let's go line by line. So now we don't need to read the complete data. That's because we need to handle one line at a time to extract the name from the CSV. So let's go to this and read lines, that is lines. Now we should use for loop for line in lines, or enumerate of lines. We get index comma line. Now let's print index and line. Let me clear this out. So here we can see that for the index we are getting the current index. So when we use the enumerate, it gets the index as well as the next content. So why we are using that? Because we don't need this first line. So that's the reason we are using this enumerate. So first we need to skip this line. So for that we need to have if index equals to 0, and then we need to skip this iteration. So that's why we have continue. So now print the product name. So let's get the line. So now we have the line and we need to split the line. Product equals to line dot split, and then split it with comma. So when we split the string, so it will make this into one, and till this part another, and till this part another, and then till this part another. So we get that. So we have the product. Let's see, let's print the product. Let me clear this out and run it. So now what we are seeing is, so we got a list, and in the list first index, at index 0 we have 44, at index 1 we have variable, at index 2 we have woo v-neck, and at index 3 we have the actual product name. So we need this. So let me clear this, and now we need to get product of, after splitting we need to use the index to access the item. So that is at index 3. So let's get that. So now we are accessing the item at index 3 after splitting. So now we get the product name. So just update the variable and run it. So now we can see that we got free t-shirt and hoodie with logo, t-shirt, bunny. So we got all the names. Let's see whether we have actual names or not. Let's go to this, and we got V t-shirt neck and hoodie, and then hoodie with logo. Let's go to here, and we can see that. So here we can see V t-shirt, hoodie. So exactly we are matching it. So the first problem is done. This part is completed, and after that we have one more question. So add new product info 90 variation Woo hoodie and to the above file. So we need to add extra data to this file. So once we add that information, we should get that info here in at this position. So let's do that. Let's go here, and we need to modify this. So now we need to open the file in append mode. That's because we are going to add a new data to it. So let's change that to append mode and remove all this data. We don't need this anymore. Now we open the file, and we need to add file dot write content. So content equals to, so what we have in the question, that is this. Okay, so let's paste it. Let's run it. Let me clear this out. And Python file handling and then playground. So boom, it is done. So let's go here and open sample products. Let me close the terminal and go to line number 20. Okay. Oops, we didn't get the actual data as we expected. That's because we did miss the new line. So let's close this and add a new line here. Okay, let's go here and move all the contents. Okay, so we saved it. Come back here and run it again. Let's open it. So now we can see that we have the data here. That is at line 90, that is ID, and then we have the type, and then we have the what is that, SKU, and after that we have the product name. So that part is done. So now we need to create a new file, students.csv, and then add names Anji, John, Shiva, Jimmy, David to it. So yeah, let's do that. Let's go to playground and remove all this. We need to write students.csv. That's in a write mode as a file. Now students equals to, let's use tuple for this. Okay, let me copy all this data. So now we have the students tuple, and then we need to write this to file. Okay, let's use file dot write lines. That's because we have a iterable element here, that is tuple. So we are simply writing using that method to write it. Otherwise, if we use write, then we should iterate through this and then write each line. So let's run it. Let me clear this out. Python file handling playground.py, and then once we run it, let's go to students.csv file. Okay, oops, we have all the data, but we didn't have the new lines. So we go here and all right, lines. Let's use right line. First student students, and then file dot write student. Let's try this and open students.csv. Oh, still we got the same. Maybe we want to add a new line here as well, \n, and run it. Let's open CSV. Okay, so now we can see that we got all the data in a new line. So that's how we work with the uh, file handling in Python. And yeah, we can do this stuff. So if you like this video, please like the video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.